Hi there, these comments are for one of my online students, Daniel, and this is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. And I'm getting ready to listen to a speaking practice test you sent me a couple of days ago. And Happy New Year 2022 to you and your family. And in regards to our TOEFL private lesson on Tuesday, I think you live in Chile. Chile is about 5 hours ahead of Los Angeles time. So I'm open to having the lesson anytime in the afternoon around say 2 to 5 p.m. your time, and that'll be in the morning my time. So let me know what works for you between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. All right, and thank you for doing this practice test, and let's get started. So this is a integrated writing practice. And let me get ready here. So I have the integrated speaking rubrics in front of me here. And let's listen to your practice test. Let's listen to it a couple of times. The first time I won't make any comments at all. I just want to get a general assessment of your speaking. And then the
The
second
reading
time
discusses
I'll give you comments.
the reading discusses low pressure areas and how they can produce cloudy conditions and precipitations. The professor elaborates on this, explaining that the most severe snowstorms.
Now I think if you look at the introduction and you connect the reading and the listening passage together, you'll probably say something more like the reading passage discusses or defines low pressure centers, and the speaker in the lecture gives an example to illustrate the idea. So think about that relationship there, and I think it's important to express that relationship in the beginning, so then we kind of know what's going to happen in your response. You have a little bit better, more anticipated organization.
In the United States are formed by these low pressure systems. In addition, he says that when two air masses collide, the air is forced quickly and forms a low pressure storm center. Moreover, he says that the broadcaster system in the United States can advise with
Could
42
use the
hours in
transition
advance
words.
about blizzards, which can produce difficulties to see or travel, and about the storm with heavy winds up to 50 kilometers per hour or very low temperatures, which can freeze water in pipes. These heavy conditions can affect and close hospitals, schools, or businesses.
Okay, so I think in this one, my first impression is between 2.5 and 3. I'm going to say maybe 18 to 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Okay, so when I'm looking at the rubrics here, you have some problems with intonation, maybe pacing. With the grammar vocabulary, I'm going to listen to it one more time. I think you might have one or two issues there. You have a good organization. I like your use of transition words to help show the connection of ideas there. But maybe you can organize the beginning a little bit better, like I said before.
The reading discusses low pressure areas
Okay, first of all, I like how you're using simple present tense verbs and present tense reporting verbs to explain the
and
information.
how they can produce cloudy conditions and precipitations. The professor elaborates on this,
Okay, so you just didn't have the intro that connects the reading and the listening passage.
explaining that the most severe snowstorms in the United States are formed by these low pressure systems. In addition, he says that when two air masses collide, the air is forced quickly and forms a low
You want to say it's and forms. Sounds almost like you're using past tense there. And forms. Let me go back to how you did that. Maybe you're using passive voice there. Hold
he
on.
says that when two air masses collide, the air is forced quickly and forms a low pressure storm center.
And is formed on a low pressure center. The way you explain that doesn't quite work there. The air pressure is forced upward, and if you use passive voice,
Moreover, he says that when two air masses collide, the air is forced quickly and forms a low pressure storm center.
and low pressure storm centers are formed consequently. So that's how I would rephrase that. So if you want to use passive voice, you'll need to use it in both parts of that sentence to have good parallel structure.
Moreover, he says that the broadcaster system in the United States can advise with 42 hours in advance about blizzards,
No, there's something not quite right there either. And we listen to that one more
low
time.
pressure storm center. Moreover, he says that the broadcaster system in the United
I'm having trouble with what you just said there. You're having some pronunciation problems there.
States can advise with 42 hours in advance about blizzards, which can produce difficulties to see or travel, and about the storm with heavy winds up to 50 kilometers per hour or very low temperatures.
So you need to do a little bit better. You need a cleaner break between the main points in the reading with the main points in the lecture. So I'm looking for something like, in addition, the lecture gives an example of blizzards, which is a type of low pressure center that occurs during the winter. That's what I'm looking for. I didn't really get that clear kind of break from the reading to the listening to see that relationship there. You're kind of missing that part of it.
Which can freeze water in pipes. These heavy conditions can affect and close hospitals, schools, or businesses.
Okay, so I think when I'm looking at the rubrics here, yeah, I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go to just 2.5, so maybe 17 to 18 points out of 30. I didn't realize it, but I think with language use, you couldn't quite exactly explain all the information using, I think, the vocabulary and the grammar that you needed to communicate these ideas. So you didn't quite get there. So I think it results in what's called limited or vague expression of relevant ideas and imprecise or inaccurate connections. I think that your limitations, according to the rubric, are right here. So you have that limited or vague expression of ideas. You couldn't quite, in a very precise, understandable way, explain the most important points of the reading with the most important points from the lecture. Okay, so I think those are some issues that you're having there. So that's why I'm going to give you the score of 17 to 18 points out of 30.